Okay, now, as promised, I want to get back to this Joe Biden story because it is a big one, folks. So if you've just joined us, in Joe Biden's final act as president, he pardoned Dr. Anthony Fauci and the retired General Mark Milley, who is the face of the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal, in particular the events of Bagram, as well as members of the January 6 committee that investigated the J6 attack on the Capitol. And that is an extraordinary use of executive power to guard against potential revenge by the new Trump administration. So that right there is Joe Biden's statement on it. So he has said in relation to those pardons of his brothers and sister, my family has been subjected to unrelenting attacks and threats motivated solely by a desire to hurt me, the worst kind of partisan politics. Unfortunately, I have no reason to believe these attacks will end. So again, getting back to these extra pardons today, Kosha, what's your thoughts on this? I know we just spoke about this, but I mean, to me, it just looks dodgy.
You know, those words, many would say, feel like projection when he says he and his family have been the target of unrelenting attacks. I think most Americans, even many, by the way, who don't support Trump politically, would see it as the opposite, given what the man and his family has been through. And preemptive pardons before you've actually been charged of any crime is very, very unusual. So I do think many people are going to look at it as a tacit admission of guilt rather than a protection against this tyrant Trump who's come in there, which is how Biden's trying to frame it. I don't think that lands anymore.
Well, I mean, and Tom Connell referred to this. I mean, it's a lot of those characters are divisive when it comes to Fauci and what he was doing during COVID, and when it comes to Milley, as we just said, who's the face of the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. Plus, you got the J6 committee. Would he have gone after them? You know,
there are many people in his base who really want him to, not for revenge, but more to set an example so that this doesn't happen again. Many people believe the justice system was weaponized. You make an example that there are consequences to being extrajudicial in your actions, and that might help restore and be a restorative action. Trump has shown in the past, often he does put these trial balloons out there, as we've mentioned, and he doesn't follow through with them, and he didn't do these kinds of things the first time around. And everybody's waiting to see, is he going to be more aggressive and play more offense rather than defense on this? I think it is possible, especially since these pardons have happened. You might see at the state level or in the civil court, maybe something coming.
And like we talked about last hour too, I mean, the first of the signatures today since he became president again was basically signing off on cabinet appointments, flags flown at full mast, etc. But he was asked about that and he batted it away. He said now's not the right time. But would you expect he gets stuck into that?
The whole Justice Department's approach to how they go after the other side and what has been done is going to be a big part of it. That's when Matt Gaetz was originally appointed. People expected that he was going to be more of a flamethrower in that way. He obviously stepped aside, and you've got Pam Bondi, who's expected to be confirmed, and it'll depend a lot on how much teeth she's going to have and how far she's going to push.